And good evening, and welcome to Love and Stuff. I hope that you will click share and tag some folks to join us in the discussion. I am tagging some folks to join us as well, and I hope that you are as well. All right, I got William Hodges joining us already. Wonderful. He's got a long commentary there. We'll get into the topic in a moment, William, and I hope that you will click share and tag some folks to join you in the conversation. But I'm going to read through that topic in 1 minute. Our senior associate producer should be along shortly, and he will pin the topic so that you'll have the benefit of seeing the full detail of the topic and sharing some of your commentary there. And so I'm so grateful that you are here, and those of you that are on various pages and platforms, thank you for joining us on Love and Stuff. All right. So I'm just trying to, all right, cool. All right, very good. All right, so we're going to go to the topic in just a minute, but I want you to click share. We've been having a great time all month with our Black History Month moments. They're every evening at 7:00 p.m. You should join us. And then Sunday at 6 o'clock, we're going to culminate with a Black History program. And so whether you are in the Love and Stuff community, on Twitch TV, YouTube events, on the Marcus Our Homes page, we appreciate you wherever you are. All right. And we'll get into the topic as soon as you start clicking share. I'm going to give you a second to click share and have some folks join us in the room. Click share and tag some folks to join us in the room. And William Hodges has already given us great commentary. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'll be reading that in its entirety in a moment. So wherever you are, drop in the comments where you are, and then click share and tag someone who may have had a princess daddy moment or who may never have had a princess daddy moment, and wondering whether or not it's tougher for people who have princess daddy moments to find love relationships. Are they looking to replace that daddy in that relationship? So as you're joining, I hope you will click share and just tag a few folks to join us in the discussion. I am going to take a moment to do that exact same thing, and I want you to do the exact same thing by clicking share. Tag 5 of your closest Facebook friends and 5 of your more popular Facebook friends to join in this discussion about daddy's girls. And if I got any daddy's girls and you know what I'm talking about, give me some likes and loves right now. If you're a daddy's girl, or your best friend, your boo, your bae is a daddy's girl, or you know exactly what I'm talking about, give me some likes and loves in the room right now. Just so that we can, there's some folks joining us on the Love and Stuff page. Welcome. And on the Marcus Our Homes page, welcome. Click share and tag some folks to join us in this discussion directly from the inbox. 5 of your closest Facebook friends, 5 of your more popular Facebook friends to join in this discussion. I don't know about you, but I'm tagging a few, and I want you to tag some. Christina Smith has joined us, a member of our Love and Stuff community. Thank you so much. I hope you will click share and tag some folks to join us in this discussion. All right. Who else is in that room with Christina? Holler out, shout it out so we can know that you're here. And those of you that are on the Marcus Our Homes page, just drop in the comments and say, hey, I'm here, so that we know that we're tracking with you and you can track with us. We're talking directly from the inbox, and I'm just looking down because I'm tagging a few folks, and I'm hoping that you are doing just the same. Don't leave the room, just tag some folks to join us so that we can have all of the folks joining us across various platforms. Soon I'm going to probably go live on Instagram, not tonight because I want to go live all together so that the Instagram folks can also share in this. All right, Ulysses Washington, click share and tag someone. Darren Williams, thank you for joining. Click share and tag someone. I want to talk to you about this daddy's girl. I won't call it a situationship. I won't call it an issue because it could be a privilege, considering the number of households that don't have dads. It could be a privilege, but it could also be used in a way that might not be good for a relationship. Hello, cousin. I hope that you are well. You and Darren are out west. Darren is in Oklahoma, cousin, and you're in Texas. And I understand Oklahoma has 70-degree weather. So I hope that you all have similar weather and that you don't have busted pipes or freezing pipes or any of the things that you've experienced. Click share and tag someone to join us in this discussion. Is straight from the inbox. And I am clicking share right now because I want you to do it, but I don't want to ask you to do something I'm not doing. So I'm going to click share and tag a few folks that I want a matter of fact, I'm going to just tag them in the comments so that they can join us in this conversation. Some of these good folks. All right. I won't take but a moment because I appreciate your being here. And I hope that you will click share and involve some other folks in the discussion. All right. All right. I'm trying to get a few folks. All right. Let's see what it's doing for me. Okay. It's giving me a few folks. All right. I see it popped up. Trying to get some of these other loving stuff folks that I know have had some daddy kind of situations. All right. Okay. Momo has joined us. Thank you, Momo. I hope you will click share and tag someone to just join us in this discussion. I love it. I love it. I love it. It is a wonderful discussion. I hope I was able to tag you. Let's see. I tried tagging you. Okay. I'm trying. Oh, yes. Got some daddy's girls that I know. I'm tapping into the daddy's girls, getting them involved in the discussion. Good evening. Good evening. Thank you so much for coming. I hope, Momo, that you will click share and tag someone. And as soon as our senior associate producer comes in, I may have them tag you if you're available to come on live. Just trying to get a few folks in. Keep on coming on in. Come on in. Come on in and stay a moment. And while you're here, click share and tag someone to join us in the discussion. It's like pinging on that other social media platform. I won't say too loud. Facebook might not like that. But it's like joining us, you know. It's pinging. All right, come on in. Come on in. Come on. Come on in here. Says the come on with the come on. All right, a few more clicks of shares. And we'll be there. Hello, Evelyn Graham. Well, we're going to get in discussion. I'm going to thank you so much. I'm going to do okay, senior associate producer, pin that topic so they'll see the topic. Though we got a nice, long, robust comment already. Evelyn, it's from the inbox. It's about daddy's girls. I want to talk to you. I want to hear from all of y'all. That's the discussion. But I need you to click share and just help me get the numbers up. I won't do like they do on that other site. They kind of just go quiet and just let people come in. I ain't gonna say come on in the room. I'm not gonna sing to you either, but I do want you to come on in the room. Come on in. Come on in here now. Harry on in here. Come on in here. Come on in here. Don't tarry too long. Come on in here. All right, I'm just hitting some more daddy's girls while I'm waiting on y'all to hit some. All right. All right, let's see. Uh-oh. All right. I'm hitting some daddy's girls. Okay, I'm trying to hit one daddy's girl and ain't coming up. Okay. Might not be my friend no more. That might be what that is. That might be what that is. That's what that is. All right. All right. Okay, I'm just gonna post a few more. Then I'm going into the topic. All right, just one or two more. One or two more. That's what I was trying to find. There you go. All right. Okay, so I'm going into the, yep, it's right there. It's a long topic, but it is the topic. So I'm going to read it, and then I'm going to read, that's okay, Evelyn. If you weren't a daddy's girl, that's what I want to have some, you can still add some to the perspective. So thank you so much. And click share and tag someone to join us in the discussion. I just normally assume that you're clicking share, but I keep forgetting to say to you, invite 5 of your closest Facebook friends and 5 of your more popular Facebook friends to join us in this discussion. All right. So I'm going to read from, thank you, our senior associate producer. Hi. In less than 10 months, I will be married to a wonderful man, she says. I'm so in love with him. We met online, and he says he knew that I was the one on day one. So, what's the issue? I'm learning that maybe we aren't as compatible as I thought. I grew up, I think she meant to say, in a two-parent home, and he grew up without his mother, his aunt as a surrogate mother, and his dad. After about 2 months of dating, he told me that he thought that I was the one, and he would eventually marry me. Almost a year later, we got engaged. Shortly after that, one Saturday, he invited me over. He met me outside and asked me, did I know how to change a tire? I laughed and said no. He had me put on overalls and taught me how to change the tire. Now, I grew up with a dad who did all that for my mom. She never lifted a finger. He told me that he noticed that I was spoiled, and while he was okay with that, he wants me to be self-sufficient. We discuss roles, and he plans to be the breadwinner, but he wants me to master taking care of the bread. I've learned a lot being with him, but I feel like I'm changing for him, not for me, and that scares me. Working out, learning to cook, saving money, investing in real estate, multiple streams of income, it all sounds great, but I really wouldn't need any of that. I only want him. Maybe I'm spoiled, but I don't want a man feeling like he has to train me to be something that I'm not. He loves my dad and respects my mama, even though she doesn't like what he is doing. I love his dad, and I think that his aunt doesn't like me. So a number of you have joined. Jules Scruggs is okay. Thank you to Mook for tagging. I don't know if that's your mom or who you're tagging, your daughter. Oh, daddy's girl. Yep, that's good. Good. Tag your daughters. Good. Oh, I'd love to have them come on. All right, this is good. So I could barely get the topic out, and I want all of you, some of you do what Tamuk just did. Click share and tag people, or tag people in the conversation so that we can have them join us in the conversation across all of our channels. William Hodges came right out the gates with this, and I love it. He says, you never know a person, you know your man, I'm not, or you go with them, and after your man, you go compensation of love to understanding and difficult at times, and yes or no to each other. Then you realize that you are married and trying to happiness. Is there sometimes confusion and confession to each other? Sometimes alike together. I'll be sometimes, but daddy was the one who begins with your life. So you can take the place of that man, not daddy. We can show you understanding of love, and you can show him understanding of happiness and joy with both of your enjoyment of each other. Comprehending between right and wrong on your cause of your call to dad's going to be there from the first place, and the man's going to be there in the first place. Understanding is between the understanding of both of you and the first place. So I said, you be blessed for the love and happiness and joy. I think I get most of that. Thank you so much. And I think what you're saying is, William Hodges, that the dad, the daughter should not shop for a replacement of the dad. Not necessarily. There are some things that the dad probably instilled in his girls that he wants to see in a son-in-law, but not that actual person. Give me some likes or loves if you agree with that. You agree? Fathers, you're out there and you got daughters and you think, I'm a stand-up guy, so I want a guy like me, but you don't necessarily want the guy to be just like you. You want him to be responsible like you and disciplined like you and the things that you are, not just like you, right? You don't want him to walk in the door and say, well, you remind me of myself, and that's the only way I'm going to take you. You want him to be his own man, but you do want him to be a man. Say amen. No, we're not in church. We're not in church. Thank you, Momo, for joining. Thank you for clicking and tagging somebody. Thank you, Rakiba. Tag some folks. Rakiba has a cool t-shirt line. Maybe we'll have her on one time to share her t-shirt line, but she's a daddy's girl. A PK kid, so I tagged some daddy's girls in this because I'm wondering, is it tough for brothers who decide that they're going to get with a sister who had a really great dad? And it's not as uncommon, though it is not as common as I'd hope for it to be. It's not uncommon for people to have great relationships with their dads, especially girls, right? People want to say that as a narrative that girls don't know their dads. That's not true. Even if it's a non-custodial type of relationship, there are some amazing dads out there and some girls and women that are all the better for it. But if you had a dad that did everything for you, thank you, senior associate producer. If you had a dad that did everything for you, and I tag some of you who I think are daddy's girls, maybe, or were, is it tough to get that guy to be on that same level? Is that your goal? That might be a better question. For how many of you is it your goal to get that guy to be on the same level as your dad? Our inbox person, she says that her mother never lifted a finger, that her dad did everything for her mother, that he treated her like a queen. And I love that. But she didn't know the business. She doesn't know the business. She doesn't handle any of the business. She couldn't change a tire. My brother taught his girls how to change the oil. She definitely wouldn't be able to do that. So is that a good thing? Momo says, Daddy is the first man that girls are supposed to fall in love with. I know I did. And Momo, I think you're all the better for it. You're an outstanding, wonderful person. And I could tell that influence would have had to been there for it. You can tell when a girl has a relationship with the dad, right? And many girl dads are proud to be girl dads. And I'm wondering, and I'm asking you, Momo, and others, so when you were looking for a husband, when you first got married, were you comparing that guy to your dad? Was your dad the boilerplate of what a husband should be to you? And did that work to your partner's benefit or detriment? Okay. Thank you. I love that you all are still tagging people. Keep tagging them. Keep tagging them. Keep tagging them. Get these daddy's girls in the room. I want it to be filled with daddy's girls to give us some perspective. Give us some perspective. I believe, and I had often said, I had two sisters, bless both their memories, and my dad had a way and a love for his children, but a way and love for his daughters. I don't have any biological children. Those of you know me, Autumn is like my biological child to me. And my love for her, I can't even explain it some days. Some days when I want to spank her, I still want to spank her at 22 sometimes. I just look in those eyes and I'm like, oh, this is what they're talking about, how kids get spoiled. Oh, that's what happens. But I often wonder, did I make a mess for a boyfriend or husband down the road? But what I try to instill in her is to be able to do some of the things and be self-sufficient like this guy is trying. So I'm wondering, this guy from the inbox is saying, hey, I want you to be self-sufficient. I know your dad spoiled you and I'm cool with that, but I need you to be able to change your tire if I'm out of town on business, and you're waiting on AAA in the side of town where you want to be. I want you to be able to hop out and grab that lug nut. How many of you ladies know how to change your own tire because your dad taught you? Give me some likes or loves. Likes or loves if you know how to change that tire because your dad taught you. Okay, looking for likes or loves. Okay, looking across platforms. Of course, this platform don't tell me to lug. What did I say? Lug nut, lug wrench. That's what I meant. I know how to change the tire. Thank you so much. That's what I meant. Wrench. Okay. How many of you had a dad that did that? Rakiba says, I don't, but my sister does. Okay, good, good, good. And how many of you would be upset if your boyfriend or fiance said, baby, I want to teach you how to change a tire? Would you put on the overalls or would you be like, psh, that's what I got you for? Yep, Momo, my brother did that with his 4 girls. They all know how to do brakes. They know how to do oil change. I don't know if they know how to do brakes, but they might. One of them at least probably does. Yep. Jay Gerald, I did too. Autumn has access to the AAA card, but she also knows she's not going to change a tire, but she knows how to change a tire. Uh, Momo says hers bought her a toolbox. Yep. And some girl dads did that, right? But Momo, answer me this question. If your husband said, I want to teach you how to change a tire, let's say you didn't know, would you be low-key upset? Would you be like, Psh, that's what I got you for? Or would you be like, shoot, I should know how to do this? Would you have problems with your husband to be, now they're engaged to be married, would you have problems with him trying to teach you some things that your dad didn't teach you? Or would you feel like he's trying to change you to be something? Like in this case, she does not cook. She does not cook well, her own admission. So he's like, okay, I'm gonna teach you what I know, but I'm gonna send you to some classes because you're gonna need to cook. Would you have some issue with that if your husband is telling you, no, I need a wife that can cook? How many of you would have issues with that? I taught every woman in my life how to change tires, check oil, cut grass. Tamuk, you're just a stand-up guy. Can I get some of them on? Are your daughters in here? I don't know. I've not had the privilege and pleasure to meet them yet. So I don't know if they're showing up, but if they are here, let me know, because I'd like to have them come on and tell me some of these great things. I want to ask them a few questions. I promise I won't probe too deeply. See, I bit my lip when I say I promise. Okay. No, sir, because he won't always be around and I need to know what to do. Yep. Do you feel like he's changing you? So in this case, he wants her to learn how to cook. He wants her to save better than she saves. So most of the things are good things, but she is saying she doesn't want to be made to feel like she needs to change to be with him. Does that sound familiar to anybody? That people don't want to just take you as you are? Is that a good thing that someone who's with you wants to challenge you to be better? He wants her to work out. He wants her to learn how to cook. He wants her to learn how to save. He wants her to learn about real estate investing as another stream of income or other streams of income. And she says, all of those sound like great ideas, but it's like, are you willing to accept me for who I am and not make me do all of those things? And I asked her, is it because you're a daddy's girl and your daddy never made you do those things? Is that where the problem is coming in? She's like, oh, that might be a point. You might have a point there. Because her daddy is who she calls if her tire goes flat. Her daddy is who she calls and say, Daddy, I'm coming over to eat dinner. Her daddy gives her money if she gets into a situation of trouble. And in talking to her, her fiance told her he does not want her to go to her daddy now that they're engaged for money, that they have to work out within their means how they're going to afford their bills. How do you feel about that, ladies? Also taught them how to call me, so they will be calling him. I'm just saying he better answer the phone and make it happen. Yes, I'm with you, Jay Gerald. Okay, so now I want to open up the room. I want some people to come on live with me. Jay Gerald, if you can put this standard, the standard Restream link in, then you can come live and talk to me. I want to ask a few questions of you directly because I want this inbox person to walk away with some different perspectives, because she's saying, maybe I'm not ready. And I'm not sure if it's an issue of not being ready or not being willing to compromise. And some people see it as controlling, but we should have some discussion about that. Tamuk says, my first wife told me if she breaks down on the side of the road, she's just going to wait until I got there. I said, if you got my kids on the side of the road, you better get to changing the tire to get them safely to safety. I taught her, how to change out an engine and trans. Look at you. Come on, engine and trans. Momo says if they both have an open mind, then they will learn together, become stronger together. And then those things that others see as a duty will become a delight and make them a better couple. Come on, Delight. Come on in here, Delight. Come on. I love that they can learn together, even though it appears that he's progressed a little bit more in life than her. And maybe because she's a daddy's girl, right? Again, she kind of does, you know, leans on daddy, right? Leans on daddy to do it. And so that could pose some challenges, right? But it's an area of growth, right? For her to, let go of daddy a little bit more and rely a little bit more on her husband, who's saying, while it's true, I want you to rely on me, I also want you to be self-sufficient. Tamika saying, leave her with her daddy. Well, they're engaged, and she is the one that's having some second thoughts because she's wondering, am I being changed? I don't want him to tell me what to do, even though some of the things he's telling me are good. And I asked, is he asking you or telling you to do something that is detrimental to you or opposite your constitution? When I say constitution, that unwritten record of rules that you have about yourself. Some people's unwritten records rule is, I'm not going to do hard labor. I am not a slave. That's some people. I'm not going to do what's considered menial labor. That's their rule. And so if that's important to you, you might not want that to be broken. Some people, have different rules, right? Joanna Olarebi, thank you so much for joining. I don't know what time it is overseas. I don't know what time it is there. Where are you? Tell me again. But thank you for joining, and I hope you will click share and tag some folks to join us in the discussion. I'm wondering, are you a daddy's girl? I'm wondering, are you a daddy's girl? So Jay Gerald, if you can drop the link. I don't know if Rakiba's still here, if Momo is still here, and if any of Tamuk's daughters are here. I would love to talk to them. So any daddy's girls, join us. I'm interested to hear if your fiance is saying, I want you to learn how to cook. I want you to work out. I want you to save your money. I want you to, let's start investing in some real estate, and let's start having multiple streams of income. I want you to be able to change a tire in case I'm out traveling somewhere and you waiting on AAA and they tell you an hour and 15 minutes. I want you to be done changing that tire before AAA could even get there. So what is that changing her? And brothers, if you're dating or engaged to be married to a daddy's girl, do you really understand what you're getting? Do you really understand that this might be the princess of all princesses, and you may have to reckon and understand what that means? Are you really keen on what you're getting? That's why this whole 36 questions that lead to love that we're exploring right now is so important when you're starting your journey. And if you want to know more information about that, while you're on the platform, you should inbox me at the Love and Stuff page, and we will get you hooked up with a session for 36 questions that lead to love. I'm just telling you. Oh, Joanna, where are you? Where are you? Because I think there's a time difference, and I just want to shout you out because I appreciate everybody that has come in the room. But I certainly wanted to give a special shout out to those folks overseas because it's a different time, and it might be time when you would normally be asleep. And so I love that you're tuning in and hopefully sharing to get other people to join our wonderful, extraordinary community. Tamuk says just her even questioning this act of love from him is enough for her to stay single. Okay. And Tamuk, if you love her, right, you've engaged, you got to, I'm believing that a man that tells a woman, I knew from day one that you were the one for me, and I'm gonna marry you at some point down the road, and actually follows through and engages himself to her to be married, loves her. I'm just going to go with that as the premise. That if you go through all that, you meet somebody online, you meet them online and you say, you know what, from day one, I knew you were the one for me. And down the road, as we grow together, I'm going to ask you to marry me. And then down the road, you ask her to marry you. I hope that this is love for him. And so if you love somebody, are you going to be that quick to give up on them, even if they present some red flags? Which is a great question that I'd love to hear your answer. I'm hands-on right now in Texas. Oh, thank you, Joanna. Thank you for your service. Thank you so much. Momo says she shouldn't let her present dear of the situation paralyze her progress. Come on, presence in progress. Open your heart, open your mind, pray, and trust the process. That's some great sage advice, Momo. Some sage advice. I'd love to have you on. J. Gerald, can you drop the link in the comments so that Momo can join us? I'd love to have her join us. See if I can drop the link in the comment. Corey Mildred King has joined us. Thank you so much. I hope that you are having a wonderful evening, and we'll click share and tag someone to join us in this discussion. We're talking about daddy's girl who thinks she's starting to have, some concerns. She's second guessing herself. She might not be ready. Okay, I'm putting the link in the comments there. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I put it there too, but thank you. I'm not sure. Okay. Hope it's the right link. That looks like a different one, but yeah. Okay. Cool beans. Momo, click on that link and join me. To get you one of your daughters and join me. I don't know if Rakiba's still here. I'd love for her to join me. And Joanna, I'd love for you to join me. So all of those folks can click that link. I'd love to hear from you. Tamuk says, he may love her, but she may not be ready to accept his level of love that he's hoping to be reciprocated. Okay. I think that's a workable moment. I think that's a workable moment for, and a great point that you raised, Tamuk. And I guess I would be asking, are you willing to love someone who is at a different level of love? Because I mean, you should not go into a marriage lightly. You should not enter into that covenant lightly. But if you're engaged, I'm hoping that you're on the path through counseling, right? And through self exploration and couples exploration, learning that this is the right path for you. And so if you're on that path, I hope that you're a little bit farther beyond. But I agree with you. She may not be ready. And that's kind of what she's saying. I don't know. Maybe I'm not ready to be changed. I said, is it the working out? She said, there's no one single thing. I could work out. She says, I don't. And he's more in shape than her. And, he's like, I just want you to be healthy. And so he wants her to work out. And she's like, that's, it's not the big deal. It's just that she felt a little pressured by him. Okay, now we're getting married and you need to do these things. Where they had some general discussion before that about roles. He's going to be the breadwinner. He's going to take care of all the bills. She'll only continue to maintain her car note and insurance. And he wants her to save, a significant part of her money so that they can invest in other things. And she's not used to that. Of course, she's used to her, hair, nails, money. He's not saying she couldn't have hair or nails, but she's used to just her money being her money. And he's kind of, in some way, she feels putting stipulations saying, we could trim back this and you could do this. And that'll give you resources to do this. It's like he's planning out her life. And I asked her, is he planning out your life or both of your lives? Tamuk says that would definitely depend on her level of ability to grow and change and the time frame in which she works to match his level. And Tamuk, I guess I'm saying, don't you already assess that before you engage, propose? I know proposals are pretty popular, but don't you get all that before you propose? You determine if she's not at your level, if you think she can get there in 3 years, 10 years, whatever. I think you have to have that thought before you go on one knee. I think. Joanne Olarebi, I want to say it correctly. It's gorgeous. Such a gorgeous name. I want to say it right. She says, I'm hands-on. Daddy won't be around forever. I'm single, but a man that doesn't know how to change a tire is not for me. I know how. Good for you. I have multiple streams of income. Good for you. And good pitch for those brothers. See this beautiful woman who's single, multiple streams of income, and she can change her tire. What more do you want? What more you want before you go to heaven? Bilal says, wow, just read the comment. I don't want my wife to cut grass or change a tire. If on side of road, call me, then AAA. And Bilal, I'm just wondering, if you are in Vancouver, British Columbia, conducting business. And she's on the side of the road, and AAA tells her they'll be there in an hour and 15 minutes. Do you want her to have the option to change that tire in 20 minutes and get out of that bad area? Because maybe she doesn't want to cut grass as a regular, change tires or change oil. But should she have the ability to be able to do it? Do you want her to be able to have that sufficiency even if you're not there? Tamuk, Tamuk, I know your name. You give me the blues sometimes. Okay. Joanna says it's difficult to love someone that can't or doesn't see the value in multiple streams of income. It's for us, it's for our retirement, our comfort. I desire to be healthy. Why should I have to worry about his eating or health when he should understand health is wealth? These are things that matter. Joanna, I wholeheartedly agree with you. I'm wondering if these are things that matter, and this is not something it's not something that she's objectionable to. I'm wondering, is it she's objectionable to having been told, she feels like she's being told to do it because her daddy never put those kind of requirements on her. And so sometimes, to Momo's point, the blueprint is your dad, or for brothers, it's your mom. And you might carry forward that blueprint expecting for everybody to line up with every line in that blueprint. And that might not be the best for the relationship that you're embarking upon. And in principle, you don't have any issue with being healthy or wealthy or multiple streams. Is that someone else is taking the reins and you feel like you're being controlled and you're not used to anything that remotely resembles that. I'm wondering, is it more of that? We have the link out there. I hope that you will join me. My wife didn't have to cut grass or change tires, but I knew she had the knowledge and ability to do it. Come on, knowledge and ability. That's what I'm talking about, Tamuk. That's what I'm talking about. No, I don't think you want to come home. Though that might be, that might just hold on now. Think on it. Think on these things, whatsoever things are good, lovely, pure. Think on these things. You coming home from the airport from a long trip and it's hot and your wife is outside and she's sweating with a tank top on and some little shorts and she pushing the lawnmower. I'm just teasing. But you get my point. You don't want her to know to cut the grass because you want her to have a landscaping business necessarily. And I don't besmirk that. In our Love and Stuff community, we have people like Kim God is My Hero Jones, who made a life and a retirement on landscaping. She was a tree artisan. She was what they call a girl lumberjack. All right. So it isn't that a woman might not want to do that work or find that work rewarding or that it isn't rewarding work. Most men would not want their wife to have to do that work. But I tend to say it would be okay for them to be self-sufficient to know how to do it if needed. The difference is that dad lays general responsibilities in how to be an adult, not how to be a love and spouse. Well, I think a dad does if the dad is seen by his girls loving their mother or loving another woman that's his wife, or loving another woman, film at 11. I think that the dad models that behavior about the responsibility of love, right? But when it's girl dad, sometimes he goes overboard to make the princess have a plush life, right? And that might count against some folks. Kim Wilson has joined us. Thanks so much for coming to Love and Stuff. I hope you will click share and tag 5 of your closest Facebook friends, 5 of your more popular Facebook friends. We're talking from the inbox about this daddy's girl who feels like she might need to put the brakes on the engagement because she feels like he is making these requirements that are causing her to change from anything that she's ever known. She is used to having watched her dad do everything for her mom. And this man wants her to know how to change a tire. He isn't saying that she has to change them, but he did invite her over for the purpose of changing a tire. And he wants her to know more about saving, to do more saving, to do more multiple incomes, to streams, to work out, and to cook, which was a big one for her. And I must admit, I'm biased because both my mom and dad could cook, and I couldn't imagine being in a relationship, couldn't imagine being married. I can't imagine all we do is eat out at restaurants. Or that I'm going to be the only person cooking. I can't imagine that. But there are women that don't like to cook, don't know how to cook. And their mothers, you know, maybe didn't teach them or didn't, you know, kind of make it a requirement of them, you know, coming of age. So she is opposed to that. She feels like she's being made to do these things. And when I asked her, did he give her an ultimatum? She says, no, he did not give me an ultimatum. He did not say, if you don't do these, we can't proceed to marriage. Okay. I got Monique Momo Thomas joining us. Okay. Looks like it's, yeah, Tamuka. I know who's listening. So I had to pull it together. I know who's listening. All right. All right. This is Momo Thomas, Monique Thomas. How are you? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Monique, can you hear me?
Hey,
How are
I
you?
can hear you. You, my
How you
brother.
doing?
I am good. How are you?
I'm good. There's a little bit of a delay. Okay. All right.
I see it's a delay. Is there a
Yeah.
way to
So
fix that?
yeah, if you are connected to your Wi-Fi, I don't know if you're on a computer or
Yep,
on
I'm
a device.
connected.
Okay. Are you on a computer or a phone?
Computer?
Okay. So I don't know if your router is close by to you, if you're hardwired into it, if you're close to it, that might help it.
Let me see something here.
But I'm so glad to have you on, and I want to ask you. Kim Wilson says she's ridiculous. I hope she's watching. Kim, I love you. That's so funny. Okay, Monique, you are a daddy's girl, right?
I am.
And you even went to say that, hey, your dad gave you a toolbox. So he was a girl dad. He was a girl dad, right? Is a girl dad.
Yes. Yes, he
Okay.
was. He is.
Was.
Still
Okay.
is.
He is. Right. That's what I was thinking. I said was. I'm like, no,
Right.
he is. Okay. So let me ask you
Is.
this. When you first started courting and dating and eventually at some point married, did you compare guys and that guy to your dad?
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. Not
Mhm,
necessarily they had to be just like him, but I
mhm,
took of what I saw in him and looked
mhm,
for simple basics in the man, such
mhm,
as changing the tire, cutting the
mhm,
grass,
mhm,
knowing how to get up and go to work instead of laying there sleeping in every day. Simple
mhm,
basic things that
mhm,
men should know to do, just like it's simple basic things. Women realize that we weren't all
mhm,
brought up the same way. And some were brought up in
mhm,
a single parent home, and some were brought up in both, and by the grandparents and dad. So
mhm,
we have to factor in.
mhm,
Thing that I want the young lady to understand is I understand her fear. That's normal. But one of the
mhm,
key things is when you pray and you ask God to see you that somebody
mhm,
that can make you happy.
mhm,
Yes, we have our picture who we want them to be like, but that might not be who God ordained for us. So that's why I made the statement, don't let the fear of the present situation of him teaching her new things paralyze her progress. He might be just what she needs to get her from here to there.
I think that is excellent, because I think sometimes people get in relationships, Momo, and they're afraid that they're going to lose themselves or give something up. But isn't part of getting into the relationship a part of growing and giving up? And you don't give up yourself. You're still one whole person, but you got to be able to compromise and grow together, I would think.
Yes. Yet you are so correct, because it's true. I had this conversation with somebody yesterday. They lost themselves in their spouse. And then when they came home one day and he was packed up and gone, she just fell apart. I know that feeling. I did the exact same thing, gave up everything, great job, all of that, and was all into the man that I said I do to. And then now we're not even together. I don't regret it, because I got 2 awesome children out of it, but it was a learning process for me. So it definitely, when you get with somebody, you take what's for you and what they're offering you, and you piece it together and make it work the best possible with God at the center of it. We missed the mark because we didn't put God at the center of it. We too busy attaching ourselves, listening to girls and your homeboys and all of them. And the main ones like, oh no, girl, don't trying to teach you to cut grass and change tires. That's not right. How is their life? Relationship. It's so easy for people to tell you this, this, and this, and they don't even understand what they got going on. So it's a big difference when you get in a relationship and you start getting them serious and getting important to somebody else other than the folks you usually around. See, when people start telling you how they feel about your mate or who you dating, they're actually telling you how they really feel about you.
Wow.
They showing you their real side. So at that point, we got to let people be people. But don't you miss your blessing listening to they or they.
And so you've given her some great tips. I want to want more of the things, because they're going to go into counseling, which I think is good.
Yes.
And I think it should be required, but that's just me. But they're going into some counseling. But she's like, I want to slow down, but I'm afraid to tell him slow down, because I just don't want to change that fast. I'm not opposed to the stuff that you're asking me to do, but it's moving too quickly for me. What advice would you give to her, hearing her feel that way?
I would say, get you a calendar or an agenda. Get you a calendar or something, and simply write you out an agenda of 10 things that a man knows how to do, you don't know how to do. And then write out 10 things that you would love to teach him. When the 2 of you come together in counseling, then you meet with the counselor. If you can't discuss it before you get there, and you agree, look, I wrote this list. There's 10 things that I want you to teach me. And here's 10 things that I know how to do, that I'm good at, that I would love to teach you if you don't know how to do these things. As he looks at the list, he might say, I know how to do this, 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 and this. But then those few out of that 10, he might only not know how to do 3. Then take those 3 and make them the best 3 lessons ever together. So in that case, take 1 day a week, make that date night for the 2 of you, shutting everybody else out. Everybody, I don't care who it is, shutting everybody out. That's your night to focus on each other. Play a game or teach each other something off of each other's list. Or we're going to focus on one thing off my list. Next week, we're going to focus on one thing off your list. And then you begin to eat and grow together. Marriage, relationship, all of that is a journey. It's a job. But the best part about the job is the 2 of you get up and work on it together every day. And if it's a journey, the 2 of you are on that journey together every day. So who better to travel with than the person that you're going to spend the rest of your life with?
Yeah. That's good stuff. I hope that she does hear that stuff and it's good stuff. I wanted to ask you, and pivoting slightly back to the daddy's girl. Do you think that being a daddy's girl can put you at a disadvantage with a guy who, because you said something earlier that resonated with the topic, a guy who was reared differently. In this case, the guy, his mother died when he was young, so he was reared basically by his dad, and his aunt acted as a surrogate. And so he doesn't have that same concept. He's all about self-sufficiency. And so could the daddy girl, how help daddy girls right now about how they go in and lean into a relationship that's about to be a marriage while still holding, you still got your dad and his place in your life, but you make sure that there isn't this overlap where your husband or husband-to-be doesn't feel like he has a place. Talk to me from a daddy's girl standpoint. Uh-oh, I didn't lose you because that's about to get good.
Daddy's girls, like I said earlier in my comment, they're the first men we fall in love with. They are. First man to open the door for you. First man to take you to a dance. First man to kiss you on the cheek. First man to hold your hand and rub your head at night to fall asleep. We found our protection in daddy. So we know everybody else can fail us, but my daddy is my Superman. I'm a daddy's girl. My dad has 2 girls, but I'm a daddy girl, but I'm the baby, so I get extra. And even still, once we get grown, daddy's always there. Mine calls if he doesn't hear from me in 48 hours. He's learned how to text. And these are moments that I live for. But understand, daddy is only here for an appointed time. And we don't fathom the thought of them leaving just like that, but it happens. But when you're a daddy's girl, it's okay to be daddy's girl, but don't let you being a daddy's girl interrupt your love life. Don't let you being a daddy's girl interrupt what's coming for you to make you a better individual. We as ladies lose ourselves in men so fast. And I watch females lose themselves in men that's not even a portion of blueprint of their. My dad dresser. He shines his shoes. He puts everything in the cleaners. He makes sure the car is filled up and clean on Saturday morning. He makes sure the grass is cut. So if I come from that, I would be a total idiot to go be with somebody that's going to sit up and play PlayStation all day long. That doesn't even understand that if you don't screw the gas cap on tight enough to make the engine light on. Doesn't understand that if the tire seems the light is coming on, sometimes it check and see if it's on a level beam first. We lose ourselves because what we want is that fast love. But that fast love is not everlasting love like daddy's.
Come on.
So if you a daddy's girl, you still be a daddy's girl, but understand once you get grown, that's when daddy sits back to see if you were really paying attention when he was teaching you, and granddaddy was teaching you, I was teaching you, and uncles were teaching, your male cousins were teaching you. They sit back and they watch. I can say that I can think of a million things that my dad taught me that I have used in my 8 years of living. But I never let me being a daddy's girl interrupt my love life, ever. Ever. It's boundary there. You cool in that boundary area. But once I do, I don't care who it is. Scripture is true. Therefore shall a man leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife. Now that's for the man, right? It goes for both ways. So the young lady that sent that, I understand you want to backpedal it. That's fine. But don't backpedal it wrong. One, I'm hoping that she's staying prayerful. For 2, I hope she understands her worth, because that's one of the biggest things that we as women lose. We find a man, we used to daddy doing everything, but we don't understand our worth. Oh, I need him to do this and do that. Baby, pipe that down. Can you cook? Can you clean? Do you know what it means for you to take care of home? Because if you're planning, I'm wife material. Do you understand that your wife is to build your house up? A wise woman builds up her house. A foolish woman plucks it down. Don't be foolish. Well, you ain't going to do it. I'm going to call my daddy. Okay, you call your daddy. But if that man decide, okay, let your daddy do everything, then you can't cuddle with daddy. You can't kiss on daddy. All that good stuff. Now, know your role.
Come on now. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. Dominique Holman has joined us. Bilal Muhammad, Valencia Etner. Thank you, Mama V, for coming. J. Gerald says, come on, protection is offering time. Christina got hands lifted. So I wanted to make sure we touched on that, because I think it's tough for daddy's girls when a daddy has treated you royally to understand that while you want royal treatment, daddy's role is different than a husband's role. And while that husband wants you to be treated royalty, he's coming from a whole different constitution. And they might have been the people over there who said, everybody's going to know how to cook and everybody going to know how to clean, which, you know, as I share with her, I don't think that's anything wrong. Now, don't get me wrong. I will hire Molly Maid. Yes, I will. But I know how to clean. I know how to clean. I will go out and eat at the Whitney, but I know how to do my own filet mignon. Okay. But so you need to be able to have those skills for the relationship, even though you didn't need them in the other relationship with your daddy, because now you are pivoting. You're evolving into a womanhood that requires a different skill set than it did to be daddy's little girl. Now, when your husband called you daddy, your husband daddy, it's a whole different, it's daddy. It's a whole different something.
Hey, he earned
so
it.
It's not,
he earned it.
It's not that same context. So I'm hoping that, you're right. I'm hoping that even in the thinking that she wants to pull back, that she'll kind of have some awakening about this role of wanting your husband to be like your daddy and do everything that your daddy did. That was for your daddy to expose you to what you can expect. But it's not that you wouldn't have self-sufficiency. And that's the part I think that some daddy girls are missing. Do you agree with that? Oh,
I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. And the thing is, if we understand that, yes, I'm a daddy's girl, so you set a standard for yourself. You set a standard for yourself. I don't like to see young ladies that they talk like they're a Jaguar. They got a Tesla mentality, but they carry themselves like they're a Pinto. That's not right. We are fearfully and wonderfully made. We should walk accordingly. People treat us the way they see us treat ourselves. People love us the way we love ourselves. So if you don't take care of you, then how am I supposed to take care of you?
Yeah, that's good stuff.
It can't get any plainer than that.
Yeah. I think you give people permission to love you the way you love you.
That is it.
Yeah, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. Well, Momo, I'm so glad that you are here. Joanna was supposed to join us. I sent the link for her. I'm so glad that you are here. Of course, the Love and Stuff won't know. We go a little back when we were young. I was gonna say way back, but then I'm gonna feel old. But you already told your age, so it don't matter.
It's okay. Yep, way back.
I'm so glad that you came. You know, I'm sure you're busy and stuff, doing all the stuff that you do, but I'm glad you came and hung out with us.
I was about to go to bed. I was about to go to bed, and I chimed on. You know, you got to get that last look on Facebook before you get into bed. Be like, oh. I was like, well, let's see what Mark is talking about. Oh, this is a good one.
Yeah.
I sat on back with a blanket on me.
I am so glad that you did. I love you. I love you, and I'm gonna have you back. You gotta come back.
Anytime, except Wednesday. Except Wednesday. Anytime except Wednesday.
Okay. All right.
But listen, Love and Stuff family, from me, I want everybody to enjoy the rest of this week. Understand that just because today was not your day, this still can be your year. So what's important is that you, my Love and Stuff family, don't give up on you, quit on you. I don't care who walk away. You being your best you. It's over the craziest things, Marcus, but I am learning daily two things. That for one, we got to learn how to do what we can and let God do what we can't. And number two, we come this far by faith. We may as well let faith take us all the way.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Thank you, Momo.
I love you, everybody.
Oh, it's freezing up just a little bit. That was Momo Thomas, a dear friend who's on the periphery of Love and Stuff, always has been. And I love her so much, and I'm glad she was able to actually be here because she would normally be heading in to get ready for her next day. And so great insight and from a daddy's girl. Right, Valencia, right. Cash App, HR Passion Guy. Look, right. Momo, awesome woman of God, percussionist, just a great woman. And I know her schedule doesn't always work with this time of night, but I hope that we get a chance to see a little bit more of her in the Love and Stuff community. She's always around the Love and Stuff community. Yeah, Cash App your offering now, HR Passion Guy. No, I'm teasing. But that was awesome. And so going back to our inbox, I think that Mo has Monique, we call her Momo, Monique Thomas, has provided some wonderful insight from a daddy's girl perspective. I don't think it's a single thing wrong with being a daddy's girl, as long as you don't confuse daddy's role with your fiance or husband's role in your life. There are things that daddy will do for you, and I need the sisters to testify. And brothers, there are things that your mama would do for you. I need the brothers to testify that ain't nobody nowhere gonna ever do no way. Ain't nobody called to some of the bridges and reaches that your mama and daddy done or is doing. But for your spouse, for your intended in waiting, that same standard, sure, you got a prototype of your dad or your mom that you hold up and say, I want these things. I got 5 fingers up, so I'm gonna say 5 things. I got these things that I want, right? But you be open, number one, to make sure you got 5 complimentary things yourself that you're bringing. But you be open, because something that Monique said resonated with me. If you're prayerful and you're trusting God in the process, these might not be the 5 things that's most critical for your happiness and sheer ecstasy and joy. So if you've come this far, as Monique said, by faith it on through, right? And so you have to be open, and you have to ask yourself, and this is not at all besmirking anybody who, you are where you are, I am where I am, we are where we are in our thinking and the way we navigate this world. So if you're thinking that your husband to be, your fiance is saying, I want you to work out, and you don't really have any health challenge that will prevent you from doing it, it's just not something that you wanted to do now because he's telling you that you should do it. You got to start to think about that. Or he's saying you need to cook, and we could save a ton of money on Geico insurance. No, we could save a ton of money if we cook instead of going out to eat all the time. And if he tells you that, which isn't a bad thing to tell you, but it lands on you a certain way or rubs you the wrong way, you got to ask yourself, this is some conflict that's speaking to you about your constitution. Something in there, some unwritten rule is getting ready to either be changed or challenged. And sometimes the challenge ain't bad because it needs to change sometimes. And so don't put yourself in a position where you close and shut down because it's something different than what you've envisioned or experienced. Love will bring you something different and something different than you've experienced. And it can be wonderful if you allow it to be. What a wonderful loving stuff. I just want to thank everybody, especially Momo. But if Joanna is still here, no, I think Joanna is from overseas, but she's working in Texas, Valencia. So I want to connect you to her, but I don't see if she's still in the room. Jay Gerald, she clicked on the link and Momo was preaching. I mean, she was loving. We're going to call it loving. We're going to call it just love. It was a love offering going. And so I didn't bring Joanna in, and she's probably Johanna, but I'm not sure how she pronounces it. But I'm anxious to meet her. She's one of our Love and Stuff community members who comes to the page and in the community quite frequently and doesn't really raise up a voice to say anything, but everybody here has a voice, Johanna or Joanna. If I'm saying it, I'm not going to be right until I get it right. But I wanted our overseas folks to know that you are welcomed here. And I know it's a stretch for some of you because you're watching at 9 to 10 at night and it's 6 or 7 in the morning there, or in the middle of the morning for some of you. Some of you are 6 hours, some of you are 8 or 9. So I appreciate that. And I love you for it. And Love and Stuff loves you for it. And we want you to know that your voice matters in our community. So I wanted to make sure that that was clear. Thank you, Jay Gerald. I appreciate you. I really do. Give that man a hand. Give him some hand claps. Some. You can't give toe taps in here, can you? Give him some hearts. Lands on her wrong because he wants her to be better. She just wants him to be him. Maybe not a realistic vision of the mate. Better can be good, especially if it's supportive. All right, there's Christina Smith. Hello, Christina Smith. How are you?
Hi, I'm well. How are you?
I am good. I am
You
good.
look good. Let's see.
I feel good. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Come on, look good. So I know you're a daddy's girl too. I know we're right at 9:40, so we're gonna soon close. But you're a
Yes.
daddy's girl, and like Rakiba, who was in here earlier, she's a PK. Her dad passed away, but he was a pastor in the Shrine of the Black Madonna Church, and so she grew up in a rich tradition of Pan-Africanism, and and so she knows about having that daddy who treats them girls like royalty. And so being the youngest of your dad's children, right? Especially the youngest of the girls.
I'm the only girl to my dad.
The only girl to your dad. So you are really a dad girl. Yeah. And so that dad girl, having that relationship with him, did you ever compare him to them, the other men that came?
Yes, I have before.
Yes.
And it didn't work out for me.
Okay. Yep. And that's what I really wanted to hear from you.
Yeah,
because
it was bad.
I knew that. I figured that was be your response. And I want the person in the inbox, I want her to hear not that it's not a bad thing to be a daddy's girl,
No.
mama's boy. The part that gets tricky is when you hold somebody to a standard, because you might be psyching your own self. You're not psyching anybody but you when you say, this man has to be like this man. Well, he doesn't. God didn't make him that way.
No.
What you have to do is be awakened enough to love, to say, I'm open to loving somebody that's different, who moves and navigates differently, but who shows me that he really loves me. And I think that that's the important part. I think love can carry you through anything if you're open It's when we close ourselves off and say, love only looks like this. Love only smells like this. Love only dresses like this. Love only hangs out till this time in the morning. Love is like this. And when we do that, we lock ourselves out of the possibility of experiencing a love unlike we've ever seen.
I agree. What in my situation, I tried to create my dad in this person. And it didn't work, obviously. But the benefit is I realized you can't do that. And I kept going back to daddy. And so there was a bias because now he's like, he's not doing what? And then I go, hey, daddy, can you do this? He's like, but you're married. So I'm asking dad to help me. And dad's like, but I gave the hand of marriage away. I gave you to this man. He's supposed to be doing this stuff. And it was still awkward too. Because it's like, why? He's not doing it. So let me ask my daddy. That was awkward because it's like, I want to depend on and be in this relationship with my husband, the one I'm intimate with, the one that I'm praying with, the one I'm being with. But he's not doing what I thought he's supposed to be doing, like my daddy did with my mama and stuff like that. And so it created a bad situation for me because my expectations were extremely high. And it caused a lot of friction.
Yeah. And I was going to ask you just as a follow-up, and I'm going to bring on Valencia. And I think J. Gerald says Joanna is coming. Great. Sometimes when our expectation is really high, for some reason, our communication is really low.
Yes. Well, and then you close your ears to.
Yeah. So we got this expectation, but we ain't talking to them about this is what I'm expecting. I'm expecting the stairway to heaven, but our communication is somewhere in hell. It's like,
yes, it is. No, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, Valencia is joining us. Hey there.
Okay.
I'm here.
Listen, that's wonderful. My issue is I didn't have that. So because my mother raised me in this independent thing, my concern would be, depending on how the man comes at you with this, that it ends up making me feel like, well, why are you coming to me like that? I mean, it depends on how supportive he is. That's what I was trying to say. It was different if you say, hey, he, like her post says, he invited her over. And then when she got there, he said, do you know how to do this? Now, if you had said to me on the phone, hey, do you know how to, change the tire? Do you want to know? All right. When you come over, dress down so we can do that. Cause I want you to know how to do everything. I don't ever want there to be a time when, I'm not around and you're stuck expecting some other man to take care of something that you'll now know how to do for yourself. I got you. But if you need to do it, then I think it depends on how it comes.
But so that's the same thing though on his part. He has high expectations that she is going to accommodate what his goals are, and he's not communicating. His communication is low. So oftentimes,
but it's the other way too, Marcus. Her expectations are high because she expects him to do what her daddy has done.
Right,
and
but his expectations are high. His expectations are high too because he's expecting that she is going to be amenable to how he wants to cultivate their life now, right? But there's not been
both of them need to communicate better about what the situation is. But I think
and then for me, meet them in the middle. Like meet each other in the middle.
Okay. The thing that struck me, I don't know what that was. The thing that struck me the most was I just want to be with him. As if I've not looked at anything in his life that can be a little different. I'm only looking at, I just want to be with him, almost like I'm concerned that she doesn't see herself as the prize that she is.
Yeah, but that makes perfect sense to me because she characterized her mother as the same way. It's whatever the dad says. So she's not reared in knowing herself. She's reared in being who he's defined to. But now some internal struggle is happening where she's like, this doesn't feel right.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Joanna, am I saying it correctly? Is it Joanna?
Yes, it is.
Hi, Joanna.
Hi,
How you
Joanna.
doing? How's everyone?
Good. And so thank you for joining us. So where are you from and where are you tonight?
Right now, I'm in 40 minutes outside of Dallas, Texas.
Okay.
Yeah,
And go ahead.
originally from Oklahoma.
Oh, originally from Oklahoma. Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I've seen you in and out of some of the lives and different things. So I finally get to put a face with the name. So thank you for joining us. And you were saying you have these multiple streams of income, which I think that's great. And you said you're single. And I'm going to ask you, are you single? Do you know what that means? And are you single?
I'm single.
Okay. Just want to put that out there because there might be a brother out here who's single. And we might have to connect you with the 36 questions that lead to love, but we'll talk about that if you haven't seen that. But you talked about these multiple streams of income. That to you is a plus, right?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Did you hear anything else in the story that was a plus to you?
Well, I think as we all get older, it's really important that we consider our health. And it's, I think that should just be an individual thing. Sometimes it's not, but my preference is that someone is able to be concerned about their health too. I mean, who wants to be concerned about, diabetes or cholesterol or, certain things that will hinder your movement. Everybody wants to be able to move freely and not have any aches and pains. So why not be mindful? It's just being mindful. Why not be mindful?
Yeah. And
We're all getting
what about the cooking? How do you feel about that?
Oh, again, for me, I love to cook. I have no issue with cooking. I just had a birthday. I just turned 44. Yeah, I don't mind if we take turns, but don't expect me to cook 5 days a week.
Happy
Thank
birthday,
you.
Joanna.
Thank you. Yeah, don't expect me to cook 5 days a week. It's just not gonna happen. I mean, my kids are grown. My youngest one is 19. It's a 50-50 type deal, in my mind. Again, for me, because I'm speaking of older children, and it's just me and him. I don't want to be in the kitchen all the time. Let's enjoy each other. Let's enjoy each other. Let's do things. And that's where that multiple streams of income comes into play.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. And Christina is a daddy's girl. Valencia is not a daddy's girl. What about you?
I am.
Okay.
I am.
And how has that impacted how you see potential suitors or brothers or men? How has that impacted it?
Well, let me tell you, not every man is a man. Not every man is a man, and I have an issue with that.
Okay.
I have an issue with that. That's a turnoff.
Okay.
I'm all, when I say I'm hands-on, I mean, there's nothing I didn't do. I know how to put up sheetrock. I know how to build a porch. I'm all hands-on because I wanted to know how to do it, and I love being next to my man while he's doing that. That's a turn on, so I don't like a man that don't know how to fix the tire. At least know how to do that. That's a small thing. That's a small thing. So, it's great when a woman knows how to do that. It is. And there's nothing wrong with the woman that doesn't know how to do it. But I would expect that my man should know. Even if she doesn't want to get involved and do that, which some women are, they don't want to. But the man should at least know how to change a tire, for Christ's sakes.
I have a question for Joanna. So, like me being a daddy's girl, he taught me how to change tires. He taught me how to change oil. Well, I wanted to. He made it fun. We would go fishing. That was fun. And then, so while we were having dad and daughter time, we were doing things. He was teaching me knowledgeable things. And he's like, one day you're going to have a man to do this for you. but you'll know how to do it. But hopefully, he'll
Mm-hmm.
do this for you. But you'll have an idea. Like you said, you'll know. But I wanted to, right? I wanted to learn that. So for you, what is it that your dad has taught you, to do as far as when you guys were together?
Well, my dad is a retired Marine. So 6 foot tall. My uncles were 6'2". And so, I've had to learn my place, being a daddy's girl. And then, when you have a man that has a deep voice, my dad has a deep voice, and it's humbling. It's humbling. So that was one of the things I had to get used to, because not every man with a deep voice is getting loud with you. But humbling myself to understanding that even if that man doesn't know how to do it, I'm okay with saying, baby, let me show you. Some men get offended. Some men get offended.
Intimidated.
Yeah. And there's no need for that. There is no need for that. But I would have to say, just, and I kind of forgot what your question was, but
Well, like, what is your dad? What are some things, like we were saying with the young lady, that her dad did everything, and then so now this guy is saying, hey, I want to teach you some stuff so you can be independent. So is there anything that your dad taught you that you might have, like what Marcus was saying, have been seeing in another man as you date or something like that, that you kind of like, well, my dad did this and he taught me that? Is there something that your dad taught you or that your dad did that you carry to the next relationships?
Yeah, I would say considerate. He was always considerate about just basically how you felt, because people go through stuff every day, but he was always considerate about how you felt, how your day was going. And then he always told me, it's not about how I see things. Sometimes put the shoe on the other foot and try to see how somebody else sees, because sometimes we can be so blinded. But he always told me that, like, you can't just go off of how you feel and get so consumed in how you feel and not try to see somebody else's point of view. But
so
that was
he's
one
a
of
great communicator.
Yes, and that's number one too for me.
That's important.
Yeah. And Bilal was saying, not every man is a man's man. That's what road service is for. So that's a communication thing, right? Two people would have to have, because if your expectation is that this man is a man's man, or whatever that definition is, the communication is often off balance, right? When you have high expectations, you got to make sure you have high communication so that that person understands where you're coming from. Thank you for that. Deborah Hill has joined us. Thank you, Deborah Hill, for joining us. And thank you all. Well, we're at 9:55. I am so glad that you all came on. You should join us tomorrow at 7 p.m. Every night we have a Black History Moment through Sunday, 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It'll be a great opportunity for you to share about the rich contributions of African Americans. And I want to thank all of you for joining me, for being here on the show. Thank you so much. Thank you all.
Thank you, Marcus.
Thank you all. Well, excellent show, excellent topic. I am just excited for the feedback that you've given, and I hope that our inbox person actually watches the show or maybe has come through. We pride ourselves in keeping to anonymity if you so desire it, and in this case, she does. And so, but we hope that you glean some nuggets from the episode tonight about being a daddy's girl. Even if you are a daddy's girl or not, that is just perfectly fine for most. It's whether or not you hold someone to the standard and blueprint and prototype of your dad without having the requisite communication with that individual. We can have great expectations in relationships, but we have to have great communication around those great expectations. And then, like Momo said, pray and be open that what you envisioned and hoped for, that God may have fashioned something slightly different than what you are looking for, but it might be the best love that you've never experienced before and that you will experience for a lifetime. I'm Marcus Holmes. Thank you for joining us. Click share and invite people to keep the comments going, keep the conversation going. And also go to the Love and Stuff page and click follow. Follow us on this extraordinary journey. The Love and Stuff community is filled, as you see tonight, with some wonderful and beautiful and intelligent, all of that, great people in the Love and Stuff community. So if you're looking for a place where you belong, you've arrived. And if you're looking for love, there may be love for you too. And if you want to explore that last part, that love quotient part, and join us on this 36 questions that lead to love, we're having an amazing journey here in the Love and Stuff community. And you don't want to miss this experiment that requires two strangers to ask each other 36 questions to see whether or not there is some instantaneous intimacy or some instantaneous connection that might lead them down a path to more self-love, more love for others, and maybe more love for the person that they're having the question event with. I'm Marcus Holmes. What a great show. Share it widely and have a grateful evening.